When I found out my replacement, the woman I was supposed to train was getting paid $15,000 more than me, something inside me snapped. 5 years of loyalty, 2 requests for raises. Budget constraints, they said. But apparently, budget constraints vanish when someone new walks through the door. So I decided, fine, I'll train her. But not the way they expected. If you've ever been underpaid, underestimated, or flat out disrespected at work, you're gonna love this one. Hit that subscribe button, leave a like, and let's dive into a story where revenge wasn't just served cold. It was beautifully plated with a side of poetic justice. I'm 32, a senior graphic designer at a mid-sized marketing firm I'll call Brightworks Creative. For 5 years, I poured my soul into that place. Long nights, impossible deadlines, countless client wins. I wasn't just another designer, I was the go-to problem solver. When a campaign tanked, I was the one who fixed it. When a client threatened to pull a 6-figure deal, I was the one who saved it. And yet, my paycheck never matched my value. I'd asked for raises twice in the past 3 years. Both times, I was told the same line. Would love to, but our budget's tight right now. Then came a 2% cost of living increase and a thank you for understanding. Understanding what exactly? That my loyalty was worth less than their excuses. Still, I stayed, thinking hard work would eventually speak for itself. Spoiler, it didn't. Then one afternoon, I got an offer from another company. We're $22,000 more per year, full benefits, creative freedom, and actual respect. It felt like oxygen after years underwater. I signed that offer letter so fast my pen almost broke. Out of courtesy, I gave 2 weeks' notice. The professional thing to do. My boss, Dan, smiled that corporate smile and said, I understand, we'll miss you. I believed him for about 24 hours. The next day, Dan introduced me to someone new, Jessica. She was bubbly, fresh-faced, maybe mid-20s, with only a couple of years in the industry. Jessica's going to be taking over your role, he said. I'd like you to train her during your notice period. At first, I nodded. It's standard procedure, right? Train the new hire, leave things clean. I could do that. No problem. Until coffee changed everything, Jessica wanted to grab a coffee, to learn the ropes. And honestly, I didn't mind. We went to the cafe across the street, and she seemed nice enough. A little nervous, eager to impress. I remember that energy from when I first started. We talked about workflow, clients, deadlines, the usual. Then she said, I'm just so excited about the salary. I wasn't expecting that number for a few more years. I smiled politely. Oh yeah, what they offer, if you don't mind me asking. She leaned in and whispered the number. When I tell you my stomach dropped, I mean it. It wasn't a small difference. It was $15,000 more. For the exact same position, I must have gone silent because she tilted her head and asked, Is that around what you were making? I forced a smile so tight my cheeks hurt. Yeah, something like that. The rest of the coffee was a blur. I walked back to the office, every step heavier than the last. The air felt different, thick, suffocating. 5 years of loyalty, and they couldn't even pay me fairly. But for her, a rookie. Suddenly, the market had changed. I didn't wait long. The moment we were back, I went straight to Dan's office. Hey, can we talk for a sec? He looked up from his laptop, all smiles. Of course. How's the transition going? Actually, I said, I just had coffee with Jessica. She mentioned her salary, and it's a lot higher than mine was. That smile faltered. His fingers froze on the keyboard. Oh, well, the market's shifted, you know. We had to stay competitive. So the market changed. I said slowly, but not while I was here. He chuckled nervously. It's not personal, it's just... Oh, it's not personal. I interrupted. Because it feels pretty personal to find out my replacement, who I'm supposed to train, is being paid more for doing my job. He looked uncomfortable now, fiddling with his pen. Look, I know it's not ideal, but we really appreciate everything you've done. If you could just get her up to speed. Yeah, I cut him off. I'll finish my projects, but I'm not training her. His eyes widened. Excuse me? I said I'll do my job until my last day. But I'm not training someone you decided was worth more than me. He opened his mouth to argue, but I was already halfway out the door. That night, I sat at home, replaying the conversation over and over. Anger, humiliation, disbelief. It all churned together until it became something sharper. Resolve. They wanted me to hand over 5 years of experience, client relationships, and proprietary tricks for free. For someone making more than me. No, absolutely not. I decided right then I would leave them exactly what they paid for. For the next 10 days, I played the part, professional, polite, cooperative. I smiled in meetings. I shared files. I answered surface-level questions. But the deeper stuff, the stuff that made our biggest campaigns run smoothly, the details only I knew. Those stayed in my head. When Jessica asked how to manage the high-value client, Vortex Media, I said, "Oh, they're easy. Just send them proofs by Friday." What I didn't mention was that they hate unreviewed proofs and always demanded pre-approval. When she asked about the digital asset system, I gave her access, but forgot to mention the hidden folders, where all the final versions were stored. When she asked for design templates, I shared the outdated ones, the ones the team hadn't used in years. Petty, maybe, but remember, I wasn't sabotaging anything. I was simply doing exactly what my contract required, wrapping up my work. Training wasn't in it. Meanwhile, I finished my own projects flawlessly. Every deliverable on time. Every file pristine. I left no grounds for complaint, just silence. The kind that builds before a storm. My last day came faster than expected. Dan shook my hand, forcing a smile. "We'll miss you around here, really?" I smiled back. Good luck with Jessica. She's got a bright future ahead. And with that, I walked out of Brightworks for the last time. Light-free and maybe a little dangerous. 2 weeks later, I got a message from one of my old coworkers. "Hey, did you hear about the Vortex account?" I hadn't. Apparently, Jessica had sent the wrong proofs directly to the client without pre-approval. They'd been furious. The kind of fury that costs contracts. The client threatened to pull their business unless Dan personally apologized. Then another message. Also, the new team can't find half your files. Dan's losing it. I laughed so hard I cried. See, when you treat people like they're disposable, you eventually learn how irreplaceable they actually were. 3 months later, I was thriving in my new role. Better pay, healthier culture, creative freedom. One morning, my LinkedIn pinged. Dan had viewed my profile. A week later, I got an email from him. Polite, careful. "Hey, hope you're doing well. We were wondering if you'd consider coming back as a consultant to help reorganize our design systems. We'd, of course, pay your new rate." Oh, Dan. My new rate was almost double what I'd made under him. I took a deep breath, smiled at the screen, and typed "Thanks for reaching out, Dan. I appreciate the offer, but I'm happy where I am. Best of luck with the team. Send." And just like that, the story came full circle. They'd once told me the budget was too tight for a raise. Now, they were willing to pay twice my old salary just to fix what they broke. Here's what I learned: loyalty means nothing to people who see you as a line item. You can give a company your time, your creativity, your mental health, and they'll still replace you the second it's convenient. So never feel guilty for walking away when you're not valued. Sometimes the most powerful revenge isn't revenge at all. It's success they can't touch. Because the best, "I told you so," doesn't need to be spoken. It's lived. If you've ever been underpaid or underestimated, hit that like button. You've earned it. Drop a comment below. What's the pettiest or most satisfying work revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story, let's just say justice, gets even colder.